even though Jesus was God's son, he what? He learned obedience. How? From the things in which he suffered. The things that he went through, he learned that it was obedience. Not that he messed up and then went back, but the temptation and the pressure and the trial that came to him, he learned obedience. He learned to stay put and stay in the will of God and didn't come out. He stayed there. So he learned obedience. He learned that he had control. He learned that the devil couldn't make him do what? Nothing. Some of y'all still think that the devil can make you do stuff. No, that is your opportunity to prove to God and to prove to yourself that you are stronger and that you are more than what you have become. All of us have got caught up in some stuff, and all of us have some struggles in life. But when we start learning to obey, those struggles begin to release their hold and let us go. It cannot hold on to us because we are learning obedience. Some of you all are waiting on God to come through and snatch you out of that, and God said, no, obedience will bring you out. Stop asking God, God, get me out of this. God said, I've given you the plan. I've given you the way out. And learning obedience, being obedient will get you. He said, if you're willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. It there's not a point of if, but you shall. The reason why you're not eating the good of the land, maybe you're not willing, and the next thing, you may not be obedient. God can't give it to you unless you be obedient. Watch what Jesus did. Listen to this. Even though Jesus was God's son, he learned obedience from the things in which he suffered. In this way, God, what? Qualified him. What is God trying to do? When you come into a test, you're trying to be qualified. God's trying to qualify that you are worthy of what he's getting ready to bless you with. That's too much for you. Think about all the times that when you were believing God for something, you told God, God, I want this. God, I believe you for this job. God, I believe you for this race. Then hell started to break loose. That was the reason why hell began to break loose, because God heard your prayer and was beginning to answer your prayer. And all he needs you to do is obey me, and can't nothing stop you. You can have it all, but you've got to obey me. You've got to qualify for this. Some of you won't qualify. Some of you hadn't been qualifying. That's why you're in the same situation you were in last year. You won't qualify to come out. God can't bring you out until you qualify. Now, you've got to learn obedience so that you can qualify for the blessing. Look at Jesus. God qualified him as a perfect high priest. And he became the source of eternal salvation. It was more in it than just becoming the high priest. He became the source of eternal salvation. There's so much more to it that you can't see. You might have asked God for this little house, but God said, you know what? If you obey me, I got the furniture to go along with it. You see what I'm saying? There's a guy that I know who we talked about last week. He had a big house, 10,000 square foot house, but it didn't have no furniture in it. Just living in the house. God don't want you just to have the house. He wants you to have the furnishing. He wants you to have the car to pull up into the garage. You know you do have a garage with nice houses. You don't have to park it on the outside. God wants you to have it all, baby. But he wants you to qualify for it, because if you qualify for it, it means so much more to you. Sometimes you can just give kids stuff, and they don't, they all right with it as soon as they get it. But after that, it didn't cost them nothing. So what? They stole my iPod. They stole it. Well, just give me Daddy, can you give me another one? Baby, I ain't got over the first one that you lost. You see, they don't value it because it didn't cost them anything. God said the blessing that he has for you, he wants you to qualify for it so you'll hold on to it and you'll realize that it did cost him something. It cost him his son. So when you want stuff from God, it's going to cost you, baby. Stop expecting to think that you can live any kind of way and then live the rich life too. It ain't going to happen like that. When you look at all the folks out there, the Jay-Z's and all of them who live in that, it cost them something. They ain't going to tell you. It may have cost them their soul. And you just think they just got that. Nothing just happened. You qualify. Either you qualify to get the blessing from God or you qualify to be used by the devil. You qualify. All right? Let's keep going. So therefore, And he became the source of eternal salvation for all those who obey him. That means because of where Jesus